You're listening to Unmuted with Papamutes.
Now, you've been to a lot of celebrity golf outings. Which one, not for the sake of who was there, celebrity-wise, but which one, I don't want to, I guess I am singling out one, but I'm sure they're all good causes, but which one really jumps out at you as far as the cause, the charity or whatever you want to call it, out of the ones you have been to?
First of all, I'm very grateful that I've been invited to these things for 21 years now. Okay. And we've gone to New Mexico, we've gone to Ohio, West Virginia, Pennsylvania, numerous spots. And some have been for the Mel Blount Youth Home and Ray Boom Boom Mancini Foundation, which is for kids. And there's Christian Sports International, which is for kids. Louis Lips, the former receiver of the Steelers, had one for sickle cell anemia, which there's been a little bit of a breakthrough, I believe I read a couple of weeks ago for that. So they're all important. They are all important. For me to say one is more important than the other, these guys are doing great things to help. And if all we have to do is play golf, wow, how great is that? And it's an honor. And the big thing is that we are helping a lot of organizations, and I'm grateful to do my small part, and also for a selfish thing, whenever I play at these things, like one time we were flying to New Mexico, and I'm flying there with guys that I grew up watching. I know most of them. I said, what am I doing on a plane with John Candelaria or Jim Rooker or Grant Jackson or whatever the case is, and then, you go to these places and you're sitting talking to Roy Jefferson, the old wide receiver, and so on and so forth. I can go on. And it's like, or even when I do my shows, it's like, what am I doing talking to this guy, right? So I kind of stand back because I'm still that 8-year-old kid sometimes. But to answer your question, all of the causes are great. And I'm very, very honored to do my part.
Is it true there's a documentary in the works about your life?
Yeah, it's been in the works. The momentum has been up and down, and that through nobody's fault. Obviously, COVID threw a wrench into everything, and that's something that we're going to start off again because. And again, forgive me, I've been very blessed to become friends with a lot of named people. One of them was Jim Valvano. And he used to say his favorite word in the English dictionary was the word impact. I've had so many people have impact on my life, including Jim. So many, outside of my mom and dad, obviously. And
right.
If my story can have impact on people, then that is just very important to me. Because like Rudy Rudiger once said, it's hard to be Michael Jordan. It's hard to be Wayne Gretzky, right? But it's not hard to be Rudy. Well, and I don't mean this in a self-deprecating way or a humble way. Nothing. I'm just being, it's not hard to do what I did. It's hard to do what I did, but I'm just a normal guy, if you know what I'm trying to say. So when people hear my story, it's, well, you know what? He did it. So can I. And it doesn't have to be in athletics. It can be, you want to be an attorney, you want to own your own business, you want to be a chef, whatever it is. Okay. This is the path that Claudio took. These are the obstacles, the ups and downs. He had to be tough, overcome, be persistent. And heck, I can do that. So if I can have some impact on people, I'm just, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And whenever I speak, or the book or shows like this, or whenever people ask me about my story, or hopefully the documentary gets finished, and hopefully it can impact some people.
Now, you mentioned about the company's business. Tell us about your enterprise, Claudio Reilsono Enterprises.
And you say the last name perfectly, so thank you.
I was worried about that.
No, you do great. Well, it all started for me. My dad used to tell me, never put all your eggs in one basket. And I, that was in my head. Obviously I was focused on baseball. But in 2007, I was at my friend Vince Kaplak's house, who was a great professional wrestler. But anyway, and his son's birthday, and I was just leafing through a Sports Illustrated magazine, and there was a little article there about Greg Norman, the golfer, and it was about all the things that he did. Now, he was my favorite golfer, and I knew he had clothes. I always wear his clothes. I put my logo on it, but I wear his clothes, the Shark, all the time because he's an inspiration to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so he has golf course design, sunglasses, GPS, wine, beef, clothing. Now, obviously, he's with the LIV, but that was the Live. That was before, though. But he had all these things. And I said, you know what? I can do this. Maybe not on the $400 million level, but I can do this. So I remember getting the book, The Way of the Shark. And that book had so much impact on my life. So I decided to start Claudio Reilsono Enterprises. And the arrows signify I do different things. So obviously, I do baseball training, media, shows and production. I own a landscaping business, speaking. There's all kind of things under that umbrella, and adding more. You know, I'm going to be doing something with a company called Draft Nation. I'm going to be a consultant for them. I'm going to be doing some things with some other companies, Streakers Gaming. I'm an LP with them out of Canada. So I enjoy doing different things, and I will always do different things. Because another thing Greg Norman said was, one of these days, I'm no longer going to be number one golfer in the world. One of these days, baseball may not want me. I've been at it for 40 years. Okay. Or maybe I won't want it. Who knows? So I want to prepare for my life before that happens. So I'm trying to do more in the business end of it. And, with the speaking, the shows, the other businesses that I'm involved in. So I want to prepare for that day when the baseball is no longer here. Hopefully it will be, but you never know. So, and I enjoy doing different things. I really do.
So underneath that umbrella, I just curious myself. I saw it says celebrity placement. What's that involve?
That is, I've been fortunate to become friends with a lot of former athletes, 95% of them from the 70s and 80s, who are name people. And if I'm not, so, whoever, but let's say somebody has a storefront opening, or they want a speaker, or we may do some solo events, some standalone events where you have these athletes there, or some boxers who have a signing, these guys together, things like that. So that we're really working on getting that off the ground, and because it's a three-way win. That's something that I want. Anything I do, Bob, I want it to be a win-win for everybody. Okay, I want it to be a win for the customer, for the athlete, and for myself. And why can't it be that way? So these are great people with great careers, very personable, great with fans, and that's something that we're really trying to get off the ground.
So you mentioned the word impact, and just to plug the Italian Impact Weekly podcast you have which I was on with you and Steve Mancini.
Yes.
I think somewhere along the way we mentioned you went to the Chicago National Italian Sports Hall of Fame. I hope I have that right. And I wanted you to talk about that because that sounds super cool.
It really was. First of all, you did a great job on Italian Impact Weekly, and I appreciate you being on. And Steve and I started this in February. We've had a lot of great guests on, and you added to that list for sure. The Italian American Sports Hall of Fame, there's a branch campus here in Pittsburgh, which I'm fortunate enough to be president of. Excuse me. And the Chicago, that's the big one. That's the big one. So I went, and I'll be honest with you, that was one of the best events I have ever been to in my life.
Wow.